We are at Spring Quilt Market, and we're going to get a demonstration of the French knitter. And this, we're with Carol. Hi, Carol.
Hi.
So you're using Kreinik 1/16 inch ribbon.
Yes, we are. And the first thing you have to do with the French knitter is string your beads.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, we're using a long, slender needle threader that Clover has. And the thing that I like about it is that it's very easy to pick up the beads.
Oh, that's nice.
And you can get quite a few on here. I'm not going to string the whole thing, but I just want you to know that you can load up many beads.
Yeah, that's long. It's very long.
Yes. And then the next thing that is a good feature is that it opens nice and wide. So whether we're using a monofilament all the way up to a yarn, we can get it through the threader. And this eliminates any kind of a needle, and then it just slides right down onto the fiber.
Gotcha.
Okay?
So do that first.
Do that first. And
About how many beads would you need for...
Well, that's always a good question.
Yes.
People ask that all the time. Because this product comes with 3 heads, there's 4 pegs, 5 pegs, and 6 pegs. It depends on how many pegs you're going to work with. Because you could drop a bead between every peg on every row, and if you obviously use 6, it'd be 6, 12, 18, 24, only 4 rounds.
Right, yeah, that's true.
So you need to think about the length that you're going to do and how many pegs and what your fiber is. Generally, we have found that 150 beads will do about a 7-inch tube, which is about the right size for a women's bracelet. Yeah.
That's
but
good.
You'll have to experiment.
That's right.
I'm going to put the head with 5 pegs on, and this just fits in the notches and then twists on. The end that you were threading your beads goes down through the center of the French knitter, and then you want to hold on to that. You're going to wrap your pegs once, and I did this direction. You could do the other direction. There's no right or wrong.
Okay.
Some people do it the other way, and that works. But when you start in one direction, stay that direction.
Stay that direction.
I use these wonder clips because they separate the number of beads I have, so it's really helpful. Also, they keep the beads up when you need them. Right now, I need more string.
You can get this from Clover. This is a Clover clip.
Wonder clip.
Wonder clip, it's called. Okay.
All right. So now I'm going to make a second row of winding around the pegs. This is my starter one I'm holding, and this is my working one. It comes with a hook, and what we're going to do is come down through the first row and bring it up, over, and off the peg. That's literally a knit stitch, hence the French knitter. When you do all 5 pegs, that means you've done 1 round. If you've ever done knitting, this is just like knitting an I-cord. You're knitting a tube. I need a little more ribbon here, so I'm going to slide my beads down. Now you can continue to wrap the pegs. That's one method. The other method is just taking the fiber and putting it in the front of the peg. When I have that bottom guy, stay down and lift your stitch up and over. So rotate to the next one,
Okay.
up and over. And people will say they've learned to wrap all their pegs, and others will say that they just draw it through the front. So you're still doing the knit stitch.
Right.
There's no difference. Some people, when they're doing their work, like to mark their peg, which is their first peg, and then they'll know when they have completed a round.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. All right, I've got one more, and then I'll complete my second round. If you're doing jewelry, sometimes it's a good idea to knit 2 or 3 rounds without any beads, because then you'll have a place to put your finding.
That's a good tip. Very good tip.
Now I'm getting ready to place my beads. What we're going to do is, this is my last stitch, and this is the bead. I'm going to drop it between the peg, and then I'm going to make my stitch. the bead goes between the peg, and then make your stitch. Excuse me.
So the bead goes between the peg. Okay.
Yes. So it's actually trapped right in there. The one thing I like about this that we didn't have when we had wooden spools is there's a little hole down here, so the tip of your pick can go down, pick that stitch up, and bring it up and over. Okay, I'm going to do several rounds here. I'm doing, on this particular one, I'm going to drop a bead between every peg on every other row. One of the reasons why I like to do that, when you're using such a beautiful fiber as this ribbon, you'll actually want to see some of that.
Right, right.
If you do it where you're doing every row, every peg, you're going to lose sight of the ribbon.
Right, okay. So you're skipping.
I'm going to skip around, and I can tell because I'll have a stitch over the top of that peg. Or that bead, and then I'll know that's my round where I'm not knitting.
It seems like a great little thing to do while you're watching TV.
It is phenomenal to do while you're watching TV. I think the hardest part of this whole thing is stringing the beads. You can learn to if you want it to look in a certain way, you'll string your beads so that and you pre-decide what size or how many pegs you're going to use. You can string your beads 1 through 5 would always be the same, and then they'll come out in a line. All right, when we come to the end, and I've got 2 more beads to add, so I'm going to do that right now. We're still doing the stitch. Here's my last bead. Now I'm going to cut about 8 inches of ribbon. And then I'm going to make a stitch and pull that ribbon through. Bring it around to the next peg. Make my stitch. This is called casting off.
Okay.
And this is how we're finishing our last row. Again, if you're going to do jewelry, you might want to knit 2 or 3 rows without any beads before you cast off. And here's our very last one. Up and over, pull it through, and all stitches have been cast off.
Beautiful, okay. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful.
There's our piece.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow, I love it. That's gorgeous.
So that's for you.
Thank you, Carol.
Now, I use some beads that pop out because they're a funny shape. They're shaped like this. So
Yeah,
the holes right there.
Right.
Sometimes I have to go through and make sure that they
show the way you want them to.
They show, and it's just a matter of squeezing it.
Right.
See where they are.
That's
but
awesome.
it.
That's gorgeous.
Okay.
Thank you,
There
Carol.
you go.